Welcome back to our lecture series in circuits and networks. So in last class we were discussing about a problem where we are asked to find all the y parameters, and we did the problem with conventional method of finding y parameters. But that conventional method will be always easy or always help you in some complicated problems. Anyhow, I will try to explain you why the conventional method is not always useful. And I am trying to explain a new method in that we will initially find set parameter and then we will convert that to y parameters. Is it okay? Y parameters in terms of set parameters. I hope for every one of you, which is most easy, finding set parameter or y parameter. I hope already you completed all the problems of both y parameter and set parameters. Let me ask you one thing. Which is more feasible or more easy method for you to find? For everyone, I hope set parameter will be very easy. Why? Let me take a small example. 2, 2, 2 plus minus V1 I1 plus minus V2 I2. Let me find y11 and z11. Okay. So, how we can find z11? Z11 will be v1 by i1 at i2 equal to 0. So, i2 is equal to 0 means I have to keep this side open circuit. So I2 will become 0. And I know V1 and I1 are the supply, and this whole side is consuming that. So that voltage by current will be impedance, that will be equivalent impedance. So V1 by I1 will be Z equivalent. And we are not having any supply at this side is open circuit. So what will be the Z equivalent? What will be the Z equivalent? Or you can apply KVL also, because no current will pass to this element because this side is open circuit. So either apply KVL in this loop or directly find Z equivalent. Then you can find it V1 by I1. So what is Z equivalent? It will be 2 plus 2, 4. So finding Z equivalent is very easy for a set parameter calculation. Then let me find y11. For finding y11, we know y11 is just I1 by V1 where V2 is equal to 0. Is it okay? So I1 by V1 is nothing but V1 by I1 for the circuit is Z equivalent. So I1 by V1 will be 1 by Z equivalent with V2 is equal to 0. Anyhow, you need to find Z equivalent. Again, you need to find Z equivalent. But what is the difference? In this case, this side was open circuit. But for this case, as V2 is equal to 0, you need to short circuit here. Then only V2 will become 0. I am drawing for this calculation. Okay, this is a new figure for this calculation. Please don't correct in your paper. I will do in the board. You please draw another figure like this. Now let me ask you, what is Z equivalent? It is not this much simple, because now as this is a short circuit, current will pass in this path also. So this resistance will also come to picture. So that Z equivalent will be 2 parallel to 2 plus this 2. That will be 1 plus 2, 3. As this is a simple problem, just one step is added. But if this is a complicated problem with capacitor, inductor, etc., this calculation will become more complex. Not only for this Z11 and Y11, for all the parameters, it is just like that. So what will be Y11? It is 1 by 3. Anyhow, what I want to convey you that finding y11 in this conventional method is somewhat difficult than finding z11. Similarly, finding z12 will be somewhat difficult than y12. Finding z22 will be difficult than, finding y12 will be difficult than z12. Y22 will be difficult than z22, like that. So, now I am implementing a new way to you. In that method, we are always finding all the z parameters initially. Then we are converting that into y parameters. So that we need some other new set of equations for directly converting from z11 to y11. You can see z11 is 4, but y11 is 1 by 3. It is not just inverse. Some other calculation is needed. What is that calculation? For finding that, we need this heading, y parameters in terms of z parameters. So now we are moving to the problem. This is just a thing that I am explaining for you to make some sense in this. You don't need to write everything in this notebook. I was trying to make you understand why this method is needed. Suppose if this is a problem like this, it will be not that much simple finding resistance in terms of x, j xl minus j xc, j xl, such things will be arriving in some problem. In some problem, you may be directly giving C value, L value. In that problem, we already did one problem in Z parameter. In such problem, you can convert into S domain, 1 by SC, S into L, that will be better. In some other problem, they will be directly given reactance form. So you cannot go back to C form because directly X is given. If you want to go back to C, you need frequency. So if J form is given, J into reactance is given, you cannot convert that easily to S domain. In that, you have to consider it as that value itself. So such a problem we are discussing in next step. Okay. So in such complicated problems, anyhow, this method you please leave, I will explain it in detail. For such complicated problems with inductor, resistor, capacitor, etc., I will always suggest you to find the Z parameters initially and then convert to Y parameters. That will save your time. Okay, let us move to this derivation. Okay, let us see the derivation of Y parameters in terms of Z parameters. So initially this is a very well known equation. V is equal to I into R, or in case of AC circuit, V is equal to current into impedance. V is equal to I into Z. So that V is equal to I into 1 by Y. Z is impedance, that is 1 by admittance, Y. Then please cross multiply. I is equal to Y into V, or admittance into voltage. These three are the base equations, and all these equations are coming from this basic Ohm's law. Okay. Now, please arrange this one in matrix form. Matrix I is equal to matrix Y into matrix V. Okay. That what is matrix V? Please substitute this one. Substitute equation number 1, 2, 3, 4. Substitute equation 1 in 4. That will give you I is equal to Y into V is matrix I into matrix Z. Matrix I into matrix Z. So let me cancel this I and this I, so that matrix Y is equal to what is this? 1 by Z, or otherwise we can write it as Z inverse. Is it okay? Y is equal to Z inverse. Taking a matrix into other side, or taking the reciprocal of a matrix, is nothing but inverse. So y is equal to Z inverse. This is the important thing. Now this is my question, how we can find Z inverse. Suppose this is Y matrix, Y11, Y12, Y21 and Y22. And what is Z inverse? You have to write the Z matrix, Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22 inverse. Now, so please tell, Y11 is corresponding element that appearing in the inverse matrix. So let me find the inverse matrix. What will be this element in the inverse matrix? What will be this element in the inverse matrix? That is, I will write here, Y11 will be this element in the inverse matrix. So I have to find the inverse matrix for this one. That will be, okay, I will write all the inverse matrix. We have to take Z22 by delta Z. By Z22, take a line, cross line here and cross line here. What will be the remaining element? That will be this element. And as Z11, add 1 and 1, you will get 2. 2 is a even number. That's why we have to take plus here. Okay. Now, what will be the second element in the determinant matrix, in the inverse matrix? That will be, you please draw a line like here, in this direction and this direction. Then this will be the remaining element. So that Z21 by delta Z determinant. And what will be the magnitude? Because sum 2 and 1, that will be 3. 3 is a odd number, so you have to take minus here. Then what will be this corresponding element in the inverse matrix? You have to draw a line like this and line like this. Then this will be the remaining element. That will be Z12. Okay, divided by delta Z. So for that question is 2 plus 1, that is 3, that is an even odd number. So you have to take negative here. Okay. Then for this term, that is, you have to take this element, draw a line like this and like this. Then this will be the remaining element. So that will be Z11 by delta Z. And what will be the sign? Because now you are taking for this one, taking for this matrix. So its position is 2, 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. It's an even number. So it is plus. Okay. So this is the inverse matrix. So that Y11 is equal to Z22 by delta Z. Y12 is equal to minus Z21 by delta Z. Y21 is equal to minus Z12 by delta Z. Y22 is equal to Z11 by delta Z. Now, what is delta Z? What is delta Z? Determinant. Z11, Z12 minus Z21, Z22. This is delta Z. Anyhow, let me ask one question. If the basic circuit is a reciprocal network, like the standard T network, pi network, all those networks are reciprocal network. Anyhow, initially you find all the Z parameters. Then you will convert it to Y parameters. From inspecting Z parameters, you can see if Z12 is equal to Z21, we know that circuit is reciprocal. And then Z21 is equal to Z12 means Z21 is equal to Z12 means you will get equal answer for both Y12 and Y21. So that if this condition is obtained in the initial step and you will identify that the circuit is reciprocal, no need to find Y12 and Y21. Find any one of these. You find Y12, then Y21 will be the same value. Okay? So that is, if the circuit is reciprocal, you can avoid the final one step in the final calculation, in the conversion stage. Okay, so we can apply this knowledge in a fresh problem. Let us take some problem with elements like inductor, capacitor, resistor, all those elements are coming simultaneously. Let us move to that. Okay, let us do this problem. Find the Y parameter. So you can see all these are impedance. So this may be a basic and AC circuit. We are not having knowledge about V1 and V2 and such things. These are just ports. You can connect AC or DC. Anyhow, these circuits are having AC components like inductance, capacitance, etc. are there. And it should be noted that their impedance value is given in impedance format or reactance format. In previous problem, in the first problem session of Y parameter, we did such a problem where inductor value is some 1 farad, capacitor value is some 2 farad, such things were given. So that you can directly convert that to LF is converted as 1 into S, L into S, capacitor is 1 by 2S. Such conversions are done and you draw an equivalent circuit in S domain and you got an answer also in S domain. But that method is not applicable in this problem. Why? Because the inductance and capacitance values are not given in their physical unit. They are already converted to X. What is X? XL is equal to omega into L. Omega is 2 pi into frequency into L. Suppose this is 1 farad. You converted that one, the questionnaire, the basic question is already converted this 1 farad into this X value. That is 2 pi F into L. And generally they are adding a J operator for representing its imaginary behavior. It is a vector, resistance plus reactance. Impedance is a vector. Then this X is imaginary term. That way we are adding J with this one. Okay. So plus J into something means it is a inductive reactance, XL, inductive reactance. In question you can see, in this question you can see plus J40, J omega L. So 40 is omega into L. If you want to find it back to this inductor value L, you need to know about omega or you need to know about frequency. In such question they will not give you frequency. They will not give the information about the supply frequency. So that conversion into from farad to X or X to farad is not possible. Is it clear? So if problem is coming in this domain, you can directly convert that to S domain and solve as our previous example. If problem is coming in reactance form, J into reactance form, then you cannot directly move into S domain. That is not good. You don't take S domain analysis. You just consider that as a resistance itself, like our previous example. You have to consider it as a resistance itself and you can find Z11, Z12, etc. Okay, let us do this, then it will be clear. So this is not an S domain analysis, we are not conducting S domain analysis as the question is given in reactance term, J into reactance term. Okay. So one more thing, what is XC? 1 by j into omega c. What is omega? Omega is 2 pi f. So generally this xc 1 by omega c will give some value into, will give some magnitude into this j is taken to numerator, so that it will be negative j. So if a reactance is having negative j with that, you can understand it is a capacitive reactance. It is a capacitive reactance. Whether the capacitor is not marked like this. In this question they marked the capacitor. Suppose they are marked like this and they are writing J160. Then you have to understand that it is a capacitive reactance. Then only the minus J will come. Minus J will come only when it is a capacitor. The capacitor reactive equation is 1 by j omega c. Inductive reactance equation is j omega L. So that never, minus j will never come in XL. But in XC, if you are adding j term, then it will be definitely negative j. So these things you have to keep in your brain before attending this problem. So first of all, let me write the given data. Z1 is JXL, J80, Z2 is also in JXL form. That is, sorry, Z1 is J40, Z2 is J80 and Z3 is 1 by JXC form, that is minus J160. These are the given data. Now let me solve the problem. So let us start the problem. First of all, as we want to find Z parameter, Z11 and Z12, we are initially making I1 is equal to 0. We will just brush up. V1 is equal to Z11 I1, sorry, this is I2 is equal to 0, plus Z12 I2, V2 is equal to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. If I2 is equal to 0, then Z11 is equal to V1 by I1 with I2 is equal to 0. And in next step, if I2 is equal to 0, this all will become 0, and Z21, it is also 21, is equal to V2 by I1 when I2 is equal to 0. So these are the two parameters we are initially going to find, Z11 and Z21. Let me draw the equivalent circuit once more. With V2, I2 is equal to 0 means I have to open circuit this side. I2 is equal to 0. And we may be having a V2 here. In open circuit, voltage will be present, but current will be 0. So J40, J80 minus J160. This will be V1 and this will be I1. So we are having two methods to find Z11. One method is apply KVL here, because current will not pass to this path as I2 is equal to 0. So this is meaningless, this component. Only these two are existing. So either you can apply KVL like this, so that we can find from the equation you can find V1 by I1, or you can directly find V1 by I1 will be Z equivalent of this circuit. Voltage by current will be the total impedance, Z equivalent of the circuit. And Z equivalent is very easy to find because this side is open now. So only these two components are present. These two components are in series. So Z equivalent will be J40 minus J160. So that the Z equivalent will be minus J120. Okay. That will be V1 by I1 is nothing but Z11. With I2 is equal to 0. We already kept I2 0. So that this will be Z11. Okay. Z11 is over. Now let me find Z21. For finding Z21, we should be having some knowledge that no current is passing through this J80, this inductor, so that drop will be 0. Loss in this voltage loss, as current is 0, voltage loss V is equal to I into Z. As I is equal to 0, this drop is also 0. So drop in this J80 is 0. So the same voltage will appear here also as drop is 0. So I can mark this is also as V2. Okay, and this is I1. This is I1 and only that current is present here. This is the circuit because this is V2, as current in this path is 0, this is V2, and this is I1. I1 is not going to this side because here it is open circuit. So entire I1 will pass in the loop. Okay, so that this is minus J160 and this is V2. Okay, plus minus, and this is I1. So let me write equation from here. This is voltage, this is current, this is reactance. I1 into minus J160, that is equal to this voltage in this component V2. So that V2 by I1 with the condition, what is the condition? I2 is equal to 0. V2 by I1 is equal to minus J160. So that Z21 is equal to minus J160. Is it okay? Okay. Okay. So this is the second stage of the problem where I want to find the other parameters. So let me brush up these things. Z11 I1 plus Z12 I2 and V2 is equal to Z21 I1 plus Z22 I2. On the second stage of this problem, what we have to do? We have to make I1 0. We have to make I1 is equal to 0. Okay. How we can make I1 is equal to 0? I1 is equal to 0 means you are not going to connect any supplies here basically. And you have to keep this side open circuit, so that I1 will become 0. But keep in mind we will be having some voltage here, V1 will be here. Even though in open circuit a voltage is present, but current will be 0. And we are connecting a source here, plus minus V2 we are connecting here, and it will inject a current I2 towards the circuit. Okay, then mathematically in this condition we can find Z12, that is equal to, this term will become 0. So Z12 is equal to V1 by I2 at I1 is equal to 0. And Z22, that is equal to V2 by I2 with I1 is equal to 0. Okay, I know you know these things, but I am just refreshing your mind to give us good strong base in this concept. Okay, now we are going to find, first of all I will like to find Z22. Z22 is nothing but, now it is a simple circuit because current is not passing to this area because this is open circuit, so that it is meaningless. It is meaningless. I can redraw the circuit as a very simple circuit like this. This is the only thing. Plus is here, minus is here, and this is the V2 and this is the I2, and we are having J80 and minus J160. But V1 is here, voltage is here. This same voltage will appear across these terminals. Why? Because between this terminal and this terminal there is no drop loss or voltage drop is 0 because current in this component is 0. Current in this component is 0 means it does not make any sense. Whatever voltage is present here, that will be the same at the output terminal also. So we are giving V1 name here, so the same name can be used here also. So this will be V1 because this one and output node are just parallel nodes because this is not carrying any current. So this node and this node is just a parallel node. Parallel nodes are having same voltage. Okay. Now to find set to 2, there is two logic. One logic is logic of equivalent circuit. Other logic is KVL. First of all, let me apply equivalent circuit logic. That is nothing but, here this is input voltage, this is input current. V2 by I2 is nothing but Z equivalent, total impedance. So Z equivalent is equal to J80 minus J160, because this is series combination. Same current passes in all these components. That is equal to minus J80. So V2 by I2 at I1 is equal to 0, that is equal to Z equivalent, that is minus J80 ohm. Okay, is it clear? Okay, now we are going to find the other thing, that is Z12. Okay, so this is time to find Z12, that is V1 by I2 at I1 is equal to 0. So this is the equivalent circuit at I1 is equal to 0, and we know that this is V1. Okay, as this is V1 and this is I2, we can easily cross relate. We have to write the equation, Ohm's law equation at this parallel node. This is V1 and this current is I2. So I can write V1 is equal to current into this impedance value, I2 into minus J160. So that V1 by I2 is equal to minus J160. And what is the condition for this V1 by I2? Where I1 is equal to 0. So I can just simply write Z12 is equal to minus J160 ohm. So we found all the 4 parameters. You can please arrange these in this format: Z11, Z12, Z21, Z22, and please check Z12 and Z21. You can see Z12 is equal to Z21. So that network is reciprocal. And also you can add one more thing. As this network is reciprocal, its Y parameter will also give the same result. That is, Y21 will be equal to Y12. So don't waste time by calculating both these things. Either calculate Y21 or calculate Y12. Both are same. So that is one information we are getting from the basic Z matrix. Now we are moving to the final step, that is conversion from Z parameters to Y parameters. Okay, so this is the final step and the simple step that we already know the basic equation, how we convert Z parameters into Y parameters. So this is Z11 we already obtained, and Z12 and Z21 are same, that is minus J160, and Z22 is minus J80. These are the obtained things in the previous slides. Now we are arranging it in a matrix form, that is nothing but Z matrix, that is Z matrix. Now while converting into Y matrix, we know that Y11 is equal to Z22 by delta, or determinant of Z. Okay. Next, Y12 is equal to Z21 by delta with minus sign. Next, Y21 is equal to Z12 by delta with minus sign, and Y22 is equal to Z11 by delta. So for all these we need determinant delta or determinant of Z. That is nothing but, I did this Z11 Z12 minus Z21 Z12. I substituted these things and the result is plus 16,000. So I advise you to use calculator and practice complex mode. In complex mode, I, that is J, you please practice complex mode. You can do these things directly in your calculator in 990 ms or more than 100 ms. You can do it directly. No more complication. In complex mode, you can have switches to type J or I, and you can do this calculation by direct entry. Anyhow, del is obtained. Now it is very simple. Y11 is equal to Z22, that is minus J1 minus J80 by delta is 16,000. So that it will be minus J by 200. Y12 is equal to minus Z21. What is minus Z21? Minus Z21 or 12 is equal to minus of minus J160, that is equal to plus J160 by 16,000. Again it is J by 100. That will be equal to Y12 is equal to Y21, both are same, and Y22 that is equal to Z11, that is minus J120 divided by 16,000. Okay. Okay. This will be minus J by okay, you please calculate this value. You will get some value here. You please calculate that value. Okay. Okay, let me check 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is 130 itself, 133. Okay, so we obtained all the 4 Y parameters. So hope you enjoyed this class. Do some more problems with your own, you can refer your textbooks or some other video lectures. Practice more problems, that will help you definitely. So we'll meet in the next class. Thank you.